Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So whether I'm angry or calm or this and that, the truth always remains. I'm right and my verdicts are sound. When I assess the situation and look at people, I see that they're a bunch of goats. They have what is best described as a deep spiritual sickness and generational um, mental illness, right? Mental illness has been forged over generations. But when you look at how sick they are, they can absolutely correct their mistakes. They choose not to. And eventually my flesh will be dead and they'll be out of time. Okay. So don't let it be confused here. So, they make it harder for me to talk, but it doesn't change the fact here. I'm separating the sheep from the goats. And so far, my parents, they push it like you wouldn't believe. But since they brought me into this world and I've thought about it a long time, I've decided that, that they're blameless. When I consider things, it's a long, there's a long explanation for why that is. And it's not worth going over it in this video. But everyone else is like a goat. There's something said about my little brother, and that's about it. There's no excuse for how I've been treated. When I see the response that people have for society, it's pathetic. So help you kind of understand how far off people are. When people fight to the death against colonists, they're closer to right than people who assimilate and become, Christians, Catholics, Jews, Muslims, whatever it is. It's very simple, really. Why would you help evil people with their agenda? What on earth is worth pursuing on this planet? A nice house, cars, a career in the concrete jungle psychological construct, some gold-digging slut that would shun Jesus? Whether or not you think I'm mad about that to the point where it quote-unquote clouds what it's not clouding, my judgment, surely you know that I'm right. Think about this for a second here. If a female is dumb enough to shun the Son of God because a bunch of pedos and their allies told her to, is she worth losing your soul over? No. Nothing's worth losing your soul over. Can you imagine how despicable it is for people to sell out for mere materialistic goods and for dumb gold-digging sluts or someone who's gay? Who gives up his soul, they give up their souls for gay sex or child molesters. It is dumb. And one of my least favorite arguments are the arguments that come from people who say, well, they're not as smart as you are, or they don't understand that God is real, or this, that, and the other thing. Okay, let's say that you do not believe in what is obviously true, that there's a God. And that is that there's a God. When you look at this situation, why would you think that you should conform? Why do you think you should go into a compartment for the white man, the Jewish elitist, the LGBT elitist, the token minorities? Why would you think that that's what you should do with the one life you have to live? You still are defining yourself as a life form that looks at this situation and decides to be evil and to cultivate evil. That's a toxic serpent goat or something to that effect. You people are very, very evil. And it's very disturbing to see your pathetic response to the situation every day. And I absolutely rule against the human race. You are out of time. Either rally and obey God through me with what little time there is left, or go to hell, and no one should reproduce. What kind of monsters are you when you reproduce? Why? Why would you do that? You know that you're evil. You know the world's evil. Why would you bring in a child to be evil? Why would you think that that's some kind of natural motherly instinct or fatherly instinct? What the hell? What's wrong with you people?